Okay, everyone, it's 11 a.m. here Eastern Time in Philadelphia, where I'm located. It's great to see you all. And welcome to IJS Online Yoga Studio. I'm Cantor Lizzie Shamash, and I'm really happy to share my practice with you, share our practice time together. It's a great blessing for which I'm just grateful, so grateful every week. Yes, Eileen, fall down, get up. Exactly, exactly. So, our props today, if you just hopped on, we have a lot of things, but if you don't have any of the things, you'll still be just fine in your practice. We'll make do, don't worry. I want to work with the wall today, so if you have some wall space, that is really excellent, as well as a chair and 2 blocks. That's the more important stuff. If you have a strap, that's great, and if you have a blanket, also great. So we're going for it. Lots of props today. As we look at Chaye Sarah on this 19th of Cheshvan. So if you're just organizing your props, great. I got a few announcements from the Institute, and then we'll get started. We're gonna start on the floor, sitting. From the Institute, please join our annual year-long text study, which is beginning again, of course, because we're in Bereshit for 5782. We have a new teacher this year, Rabbi Dr. Aaron Lieb-Smokler. So please learn more and register. Adi is putting links in the chat. As well, our next 30-day prayer project intensive is coming soon. It'll begin November 14th, and that's with Rabbi David Jaffe on the practice of Hitbodedut. And that is a very, very special subject and a special teacher, so I hope you'll check that out and look into it as well. So that's about that for now. Let us get started. So we're gonna come to the floor. And if you're able, well, I shouldn't say we're going to come to the floor. We're going to come to some version of child pose. Child pose is not comfortable for you if it's too much flexion in the knees or too much flexion in the hip, but particularly the knees, then I want you to take child pose in the chair. It's a really nice alternative, right? So that you don't have to have so much flexion in the knees. You'll come to the chair, take the knees wide, and this can be your child pose equivalent. Could also rest forehead on the arms on a table or something like that, or on the wall, or extend your arms. And that's a really nice child pose option variation. Let me give you a couple of other ideas. If you want to just ease up on the knees a little bit, you can take a blanket behind the knees and sit back. And if you want to ease up on the amount of flexion at the hip, you're going to take a blanket to the hip, okay? So always options. It's always your practice. I'm just offering some guidance in the hopes that it's helpful to you. So let's just start actually in what's called Thunderbolt Pose, sitting back, feet together, and come up on the knees for a moment. Just take the hands to the flesh of the calves and move the flesh a little bit back. Draw it away from the back of the knee and a little bit out to the side. Take it away as you just sit down. Make some space. We kind of forget this pose entirely, but it is a pose and it's beautiful. It offers some opening to the front of the ankle, perhaps. If it's too much for the front of the ankle, you can place a blanket under so you have less angle there. And it offers some nice opening to the knees. Take the hands to the thighs, press down a little bit, and with that pressing down, allow the chest to lift and rise. Take the shoulders and just roll them once, taking them up with an inhale and then drawing them back and down on an exhale. So pressing into the hands, allow the chest to widen and also lengthen up. And feel maybe how the abdomen hollows out a little bit and how the sides of the waist lift and open evenly. And then you can just let the hands be, let the eyes be soft or close them if that's comfortable. And just take your attention for a moment to the breath coming and going. Landing right here in your breath, in your body, in your practice today. Just follow the coming in and the going out of the breath. Each breath a fresh start, a beginning, a bereshit of sorts, right? And setting our kavanah to be present in this moment, present to ourselves, present to this practice, this wonderful gift. From here, if your eyes are closed, open them. We're going to come forward to child pose. So now take the knees wide, the heels are together. Begin to walk the hands out. You can take them as wide as the mat, or even wider if the shoulders are tight or problematic for you. You might want to take the arms nice and wide and even bend the elbows. But if the shoulders are pretty open, keep the elbows straight, walk those fingertips forward, lengthen the spine, and again, evenly through the side waist, extending forward. And maybe the forehead comes to the mat. Maybe the forehead comes to a block or to the blanket. What I'm most interested in here is one line for the spine, right? So sometimes we have a lot of length through most of the spine, and then we just drop the head and cut off the cervical spine. So I want you to pay great attention to lengthening one piece through the whole spine. Spread those fingers and press the palms down like you're making an imprint in sand. And draw the tailbone back. And feel the breath once again coming and going. Notice any sensation through the sides of the ribs, through the armpits, shoulders, upper arms, outer arms. Arriving, landing, and then take those arms and walk them over to the right. Particularly find length through the left arm as you go, through the left fingertips. Really opening up through that left side, draw the left hip crease back. See if you can start to sensitize to the feeling of breath between the ribs, moving into the ribs, moving against the ribs. Like a wave coming and going from the shore. And then take it back through center and walk the hands over towards the left. Right arm particularly extended, long. And again, spine in one long piece. Vertebra by vertebra lifting. What do you notice in the right side of the body? And then as you're ready, come on back to center one more time. Walk those fingertips forward just a little more. Lengthen. And then walk the hands back towards the body and come to a comfortable seat or to lying down if you prefer, as I share a little bit of teaching on Parshat Chaye Sarah. So here we are, it's the 19th of Cheshvan. And this portion brings us a big transition of generations. We have the death of our matriarch Sarah, and the end of the story of Abraham and Sarah, the beginning of the story of Isaac and Rebekah. So it's a changeover here. And Abraham sends his servant Eliezer out to find a wife for Isaac, sends him back to his homeland to bring a wife. And then towards the end of, I want to go into that a little bit. Towards the end of this Torah portion, we have the death of Abraham, the death of Ishmael. So 3 deaths, actually. And also the movement forward to the next generation. So Abraham sends Eliezer, his servant, out to find a suitable wife for Yitzchak. And Eliezer prays. It's one of our first instances of prayer in the Torah. He actually shares this beautiful prayer to God. He says, Adonai Elohei Adoni Avraham, the God of my master Avraham. Hikrena lifnei hayom ve'aseh chesed, he says, aseh chesed im Adoni Avraham. JPS translates it, grant me good fortune this day, deal graciously with my master Abraham. But what it really says, aseh chesed, do love, do generosity, do kindness, right? La'asot, the verb to do. So it's an action, actually, not just deal graciously, but do the action of being loving. Here I stand by the spring as the daughters of the townsmen come out to draw water. Let the maiden to whom I say, please lower your jar that I may drink, and who replies, drink, I will also water your camels. Let her be the one whom you have decreed for your servant Isaac. Thereby shall I know that you have dealt graciously with my master. Right? Uva eda, thereby will I know, ki asita chesed, once again, ki asita chesed im Adoni, that you have dealt with Avraham in this loving manner. So twice in the span of 3 verses. I think that's really notable. I always like to look at the pshat, the actual text of Torah. Really, really noticeable. Aseh chesed, that exact phrase twice. And then we know what happens. Rebecca comes, she helps, she proves herself to be the one worthy of becoming the wife of Isaac. And Eliezer prays again. He prays again. And he says, he bows down to God and he says, Vayomer, Baruch Adonai Elohei Adoni, again, blessed be the God of my master Abraham, Asher lo azav chasto va'amito. And this, I think, is just beautiful. Asher lo azav, who did not desert, who did not abandon or forsake me, right? But who did not withdraw, who did not withhold his chesed and his emet, who did not withhold love or truth, right? These 2 pillars that we always talk about, chesed and emet. Asher lo azav chasto va'amito me'im Adoni, from my master. Anochi baderech, I'm on the road, right? And he's grateful. Who didn't withhold chesed and emet. So that's really, how do we strive to be in the world? Not withholding of chesed or emet, not withholding of love and generosity, and not withholding also of truth, sometimes a little bit of discipline and truth. And so I'm thinking about chesed and emet as these 2 pillars of our side body that need to lift evenly and hold each other in order to make space for that well, space for that wellspring to which Rebecca goes again and again to shine forth, right? How can we show up for ourselves in a way that is oseh chesed, doing love? On a totally just extra tip that I noticed only yesterday for the first time, fun Torah tip is that later Eliezer says about God, Matzliach darki asher ani holech aleha, make me successful. Matzliach darki, make my way successful, that the way that I'm walking. And I noticed that this is the same text in the Hineni prayer on the high holidays, that it comes straight from Eliezer. I didn't know that before. Matzliach darki asher ani holech aleha. So something for you to notice next high holidays. All right. So how can we build a practice that cultivates for ourselves, within the body, within ourselves as a start, chesed and emet? So let's come to the wall. We're going to come perpendicular. I'm not going to change my mat, but you can definitely change your mat if you would like to. We're going to come with the feet on the wall and taking mountain pose, Tadasana, on the wall. So you want to kind of find the feet at the wall and then maybe push yourself back a little so that you really keep the contact with the wall. Start to press your legs down. Feel your heels in contact with the wall as much as you can, depending on your baseboard situation. Just find the body in mountain pose. You can take the arms by the sides with the palms facing up. Just find this relationship. Let the tailbone lengthen. Let the back ribs soften. Let the back of the head and the back of the shoulders be held by the floor. And find your breath here. And if you'd like, you can inhale and take the arms up overhead, palms facing each other. Either shoulder width or a little wider, only if that's comfortable on your shoulders. If not, don't bother. If your arms are up, extend through your fingertips evenly and see, keeping the hips even, can you extend evenly away with both right and left sides of your body, making space between the hip crest and the rib cage on both sides. And see if the abdomen can just soften slightly. Now we're going to take the right knee and hug it in toward the chest. A little or a lot, you decide. Make sure your left foot stays in contact with the wall. That's your standing leg, so to speak. You want to really press the wall away with the heel and particularly with the ball of the foot. Hugging that right knee in, either clasping the hands at the shin or behind the knee, whichever's comfortable. Notice if that right hip has a tendency to hike up. Can you draw the outer hip and the sitting bone down? That is toward the wall. Toward the wall, toward your left inner heel. Pressing that left foot away. And now if you've got the strap, you'll grab it. We're going to extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. Have the strap at your heel. And if you don't have a strap, don't worry. Just take hold behind the right leg, behind the thigh, clasp hands. So pressing that left leg away. I just keep saying it to remind you. We want to be active in that standing leg. And sending that right leg up towards the ceiling. Shine the sole of the foot open towards the ceiling. Make it broad, make it wide. You can even spread the toes and draw them toward your forehead, a little bit of flex. Might bring up a little more sensation through the calf. And then take the strap, both sides of the strap, if you're holding it into the right hand. Let's let the left hand rest on the left thigh. Ground that thigh bone down and take the right leg out to the right. If you like, you can sort of warm it up by going out and coming in a little bit. And eventually letting it extend out. We don't want that left thigh to come down or that left hip. We're grounding it with the left hand. Right? So the right leg coming out only to the extent that you can manage in your body in this moment. Be gentle. Oseh chesed. Giving loving stance, a generous stance. of a standing of the mind, of the breath. And as you're ready, bring the right leg back in. Once again, renew that sense through the standing leg, through the left leg. And then release the strap. Give a little point and flex, circles to the right foot. Anything you need, just shake it out, open it up. And we'll come back to mountain pose. Even it out. Feel those two legs against the wall. What do you notice? Be curious. Anything different, any new information for you after doing one side? You might feel a lot, you might feel a little, you might feel nothing. Don't worry, don't make a thing of it. We're just here to see what arises. And sometimes we don't feel anything, and that's okay too. And that's where we are. And we'll switch sides. I'm taking the left knee in toward the chest. Again, if you have to snuggle yourself a little more towards the wall to renew the contact with the wall, go for it. Hug that left knee in and breathe. So when we use the wall, we get some information through that standing leg. We also get a sense, oh yeah, this is not just a floor pose, this is a standing pose. We could do this as a balance pose standing, but now we're doing it with the information from the floor and from the wall, getting strong toward eventually maybe taking it to a standing balance. Then we're going to take the strap, if you've got it, around the left heel and send that left leg up towards the ceiling. And pay attention to the right foot. Pay attention to the hips. Are they even? Lengthening the side waists once again. So just like Eliezer's prayer, can we be mindful, Oseh Chesed? Bring an attitude of love to the body, this always changing, moving body. And then take both sides of the strap into the left hand. Ground your right thigh with your right hand. Spread the palm over the thigh, the quadriceps. You warm up the muscle maybe with the hand a little bit. And take that left leg out to the left. Maybe a couple times out and in. Just warm it up. Feel the trajectory of the movement. And go easy. Then taking that left leg out to the side. Keeping firm in that standing leg. Right? The emet of this pose, the truth is to not fall over to the side. Continue to face the ceiling. And then as you're ready, bring the leg back up to center. Move the strap, little point and flex, circles, shake it, whatever you need. And one more time, let's take mountain pose on the wall. Just find those feet. Find the strength, the stability of the mountain. Feet hip width apart. And draw the knees in toward the chest. Take the arms out in a T at shoulder height. We're going to just take a little twisting side to side with some movement. So inhale here in the center. And exhale as you take the knees over towards the right side. Inhale back through center. And exhale over to the left. Or just a little towards the left. Inhale back through center. And exhale right. Inhale center, exhale left. A couple of times back and forth like this with the breath. Just starting to warm up the twist, warm up the abdomen, draw the navel in towards the spine as you go. Just feel this little bit of action for heating up the digestion process. Opening up the back of the rib cage, right below the back of the rib cage. Strong musculature there that often gets tight. And then as you're ready, just roll it to the side. We'll start to come up. And when you come up, place your chair onto your mat. So, first thing, we're going to fold forward. Take the hips, take the feet hip width apart, the hands to the hips. Inhale, press the feet down, particularly the heels. Lift the sternum. Exhale, folding at the hip crease. Fold over, hands to the chair, maybe forearms to the chair. And lengthen the spine first. Inhale into length, and then you might stay here, or you might fold further if you like. Maybe it's the top of the head to the chair. Maybe you don't want the chair at all. You want to fold further and let the head go. You decide what you need. So again, finding some generosity, some chesed toward the hamstrings, toward the low back. Try to feel the pose from the inside. As you're ready, come on up. We're going to extend the leg onto the chair. So it's either going to be to the chair seat, or it's going to be to the top of the chair. If you don't want to be using a chair at all, maybe it's the strap holding the leg, or the finger to the toe extending the leg, right? You can decide. But today I want to work with the chair, if that's available to you. Let's start with the right leg extended, left leg standing. And just like we were doing on the floor, now we're arranging it in a standing position. Take the hands to the hips so that you have some information about where the hips are, right? So that they're even. Open your right hand, like make a V between the thumb and the forefinger. Put it into the crook of the thigh there, where the leg meets the hip crease, and draw it outward and down. So you start to take that right thigh bone down. You also encourage the sitting bone to come down. And breathe. Wherever you are here. You might find you need the wall for some stability. Go for it. If if the balance is strenuous. And then release, we'll take the other side. So the right leg is the standing leg. We're going to extend the left leg to the chair seat, to the back of the chair, right? You might look down and notice where that standing leg is. Make sure it's in line. Make sure the toes are pointing forward. And then once again, take that horseshoe hand here and take the left hand into the left hip crease. Draw the skin of the leg out and down. Right. Lo azav chasto va'amito. To not withdraw chesed or emet. Being really truthful about where you are in the body today, where you are in this pose, and also approaching with a certain amount of softness, right? Of receiving yourself, receiving the pose lovingly, spaciously, generously. It's all under the umbrella of chesed. And then as you're ready, release. Okay, now we're going to bring the chair to the wall. We're going to do a twist at the wall. If you don't have the chair or the blocks, I want you to take a twist either seated or lying down. It's all the same action, right? So you can take a twist like this. You can take a twist on the floor seated or all the way lying down. Probably you're going to stack both blocks onto the chair. What you want is, I'm coming with my right side to the wall. I'll show you what I'm going to do quickly, and then we'll get into it so you can see. My left leg is the standing leg, and my right foot is coming up, and I want it to be, you might not need it this high, but you do want the knee to be higher than the hip. You do want the knee to be higher than the hip. The right hip, the whole right side of the body, sits against the wall. And then what you're going to do is, what we're going to do together is twist. Place the right hand on the wall, especially the left hand can come to the outside of the left knee, and we can push with this right hand to get ourselves over. Okay? So let's give it a try. Come to the wall, chair to the wall, right hip, right side of the body to the wall. See where you need, see how much stacking you need to make sure that your knee is higher than your hip. Okay? Stamp that left foot down just like we did on the floor, right? Just like we did. Imagine the floor against your back, and when the foot was really pushing to the wall, push down. And in that pressing down, allow each vertebra to lift, 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 lift all the way up. Showing, again, a lot of chesed to the emet, to the integrity of this spine. Good. Take an inhale. And as we exhale, twist to the right. Take the right hand to the wall. Take the left hand to the outside of your left knee. Inhale here. And then exhale, press into your right hand. Start to move yourself around towards the wall. So really there's a lot of swivel of the navel, of the abdomen. You can even take your right hand and physically draw your abdomen around a little bit. We're really offering some nice movement to the abdominal cavity. And take the gaze with you as much as you're inclined, as much as your neck allows. But really we're working on this lower rib band, and this is a beautiful relief for the low back as well. Feel free to come out and move back into it. You don't have to stay. And then as you're ready, we'll come on out and bring it to the other side. So left side of the body, left hip against the wall. You may need the blocks stacked the same or differently. You'll see. Hip to the wall. Stamp that right foot down, that standing foot. Really send it down, send the crown of the head away. Find a lift, vertebra to vertebra to vertebra, rung to rung to rung. This ladder of the spine. Inhale. Exhale, begin to come into the twist. Left hand to the wall. Inhale, spine tall. And exhale, press into the left hand and start to now work yourself into this twist. Might be stages. Notice how it's different on this side. Notice how the front body moves and how the back body moves. Notice where there's movement. Notice where it's stuck. Do it gently. Do it honestly. Lo azav chasto va'amito. And as you're ready, we'll come on out of that. Good work. That's good work. It's deep work and it's important work. We're going to come down to the floor. If you've got the strap, bring the strap with you. Have anything nearby that you're going to want for final relaxation, which will come soon in just a moment. Lying down on the back. Either the soles of the feet to the floor with the knees up, or if it's okay for your low back, consider extending the legs. Take them wide. Take the arms overhead if that's okay too. Just giving a whole body stretch. Inhale, extend through the heels, extend through the fingertips. Fill the chest with breath. Hold it for a moment at the top. Extend, 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 and then exhale. Just let it go. Melt into the floor. Again, inhale, fill the belly, fill the side ribs, fill the chest, fill up, extend through the heels and the fingertips. Hold the breath for a moment at the top. And then exhale. Melt. Soften. One more time. Inhale. Extend through the heels, through the toes, through the fingertips. Fill the torso with breath. Hold at the top. Exhale and release. Good. We're going to bend the knees. If you got the strap, take hold of the strap. Strap's going to go around the ankles. We're going to do a little bridge variation. So the feet are hip width apart, right? And they're extending directly out in line with the sitting bones. The strap is around the ankles and the hands, we're holding on to the strap. Good. We're going to press into the feet. Pull the strap toward you, extend the tailbone away from you and begin to lift the hips up just slightly. Just a mini bridge here. And breathe. Long spine. If you want to come up higher, you can, but otherwise just take it as sort of a low
low bridge, kind of little bit of firing up of the thighs and of the outer legs, but more so a lengthening of the tailbone, a lengthening of the abdomen. And then as you're ready, exhale, lower down one vertebra at a time to the floor until you're all the way down. And pause here. Melt. We'll do this one more time. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, press into the feet, lengthen the tailbone, start to curl the tailbone up, lift the hips, press the thighs up, press the feet down, press the hips up. And come up to a bridge wherever you want to be, pulling the strap toward you, hands on the strap. Don't let the knees splay. Breathing. And then on your next exhale, or whenever you're ready, vertebra by vertebra, dropping, melting toward the floor. As you come down the spine, take your time, one at a time, landing. Release the strap and take whatever you need. Knees maybe waving side to side, or hugging the knees to the chest, or maybe taking the hands to the kneecaps, making circles, massaging out the low back. See what your body needs. Oseh chesed. Give yourself a little bit of kindness. And then as you're ready, settling in for final relaxation. So you might roll the blanket and place it under the knees, or you might place the blanket under your head. You might, if you have the chair and you enjoy putting the calves up on the chair, lower legs to the chair, you can do that. If you're wearing glasses, remove your glasses. I'll show you a model for you, the rolled blanket. I like to put it under my thighs rather than under my knees, but it can go either. Allow the palms to face up. Allow the outer shoulders to drop down. Taking a few minutes of stillness. Nothing you need to do. Nowhere you need to go. Just the prayer of Matzliach Darki, make my way, my derech, my path successful. Little wish, a hope. As you're ready, begin to deepen the breath. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Take a nice big yawn, stretch. Then bend the knees. Hug them in toward you. And make your way over onto one side. Pausing here. And as you're ready, pressing up to a comfortable seat. And feeling once again the lift of the spine and the even lifting of the sides of the waist. You might take a hand to the heart. Just feel your own chest rising and falling, maybe feeling your own heartbeat. Just like Eliezer's prayer, extending chesed to yourself, wishing for love and kindness and generosity, to extend it to yourself, to extend it outward, to family, friends, community, and beyond. And as we close our practice, I also want to make a dedication for my own practice, and maybe you want to do so for yourself as well, recognizing that yesterday was the 18th of Cheshvan, the third anniversary in Pittsburgh, in Squirrel Hill at Tree of Life, of the shooting. Extending the benefits of my own practice, I invite you maybe to do the same if you like, to the memory of its victims. Joyce Feinberg, Richard Gottfried, Rose Mallinger, Jerry Rabinowitz, Cecil Rosenthal, David Rosenthal, Bernice Simon, Sylvan Simon, Daniel Stein, Melvin Wax, and Irving Younger. Extending the benefits of our practice to the well-being of the Pittsburgh community and the Jewish community there and everywhere, holding them in our hearts. And taking a final breath or two with full consciousness before you release your hands from your torso, and allowing the eyes to flutter and gently open. Come back to your space. I wish you Shavua Tov. Thank you for practicing today. And do please check out the IJS resources and things coming up. And I'm here for 10 minutes or so more for Q&A if you have comments on practice or questions from today's practice. It's always really nice to stay and share. So if you can, please do. And if you're heading off, wishing you a beautiful day and a beautiful week ahead.
Thank you, Lizzie, so much.
Welcome.
For this practice and for setting an intention to extend this to the community in Pittsburgh. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.
You inspired me today to love my body.
Ah.
I needed that reminder.
Oh, Marta Inez, that's great. I'm so glad.
Thank you.
It's a powerful message. We have to remind ourselves again and again and together, right? Yeah. Um, yeah. So if you have any questions, you can use the hand raising function, which I think is under reactions if your computer looks like mine. Or you can put it in the chat, or you can, I don't know, Kate, and then Linda. Hi, Kate.
Hi there, Lizzie. Good to be here with you. And my
Ditto.
comment today is based on my thoughts regarding compassion, chesed, and emet, the compassionate truth. And it helped me in a relationship where I want to have a conversation with this person and speak my truth, which it's a little scary because it's critical, or it's how I feel about something that she may take offense at. So I'm going to go to that conversation with Chesed.
Yeah.
I think the truth is easier to hear when it's said with loving kindness.
Yeah.
And that was really a good reminder for me.
Thank you, Kate, for bringing it down to the, the daily moments in which we can employ chesed. We've all been certainly many times in a situation like that where we have our truth to speak, but there's so much fear and concern around it too. Like, will we hurt this person, or, will I blow up in the middle of what I need to say? And, how can I ground myself? And it's really what we're doing here in our yoga practice, getting ourselves ready to have conversations like that, right? So that the body can keep a very stable and loving foundation for the conversation, right?
Yeah, and in my body, I felt it today when you said, soften the ribs into the floor. Instead of kind of puffing out and feeling, which comes for me when I'm stretching, I kind of puff it out, but then the softening, I would go to this conversation with a soft torso rather than my breath held and my fear tightening me up, So
Yeah.
there was a lot today that was helpful.
Good.
On a practical level.
Good. Well,
and physical level.
and also because you had the courage to share with all of us in the community, we can all hold you as you go toward that conversation. Just hold you in our hearts, our thoughts, with yet more chesed around this. And good luck. And also, you can just continue to keep checking in with your body through the conversation to whatever extent you can muster it, right?
Thank you. That's a good idea.
To keep touching back. Ooh, it's getting a little heated, or I feel my voice getting a little harsh as I try to deliver what I need, or I'm scared. How are my back ribs? Where can I soften, before the next sentence? It's great. So good
Thank
luck.
you.
Good luck. Good luck. Linda shivers. Dear Cantor shivers.
So today is the first day I had a strap. I ordered a strap and I got my strap. I'm not clear about how to use it. I mean, do you have your straps like totally, let me get rid of that noise. You keep your strap connected, or is it
No, usually I open it, but you might have been thrown today because I had it doubled, because it was belted, because I think the strap I was using is a longer strap. But generally, no. Keep it open unless you need it belted. It doesn't really matter. Did you buy a 6 foot? You probably bought a 6 foot.
I don't know. It seems pretty long.
Okay, mine says what it is right here under the buckle. It says 8. So I have a 6 and an 8 at home. So I was just using it in, whatever
Mine
way.
says 6. Mine
Yeah,
says
so
6.
probably you want to unbelt it when we're doing like what we did today, and just make sure your hands and shoulders are comfortable wherever you're holding it.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. Good question. Bill, hi.
Hi, welcome back. Uh,
Thank you.
I wanted to emphasize this business of kindness to the body.
Well, we'll be in a second. I'm gonna leave.
uh, older, like older, over 80 or something, something happens to the body all the time, your shoulder or this or that or that. And it's so becomes so important to accept whatever it is and to be kind
Yeah.
to it and take care of it. Just hit me that you get sometimes you get aggravated with it.
Right, it needs patience. Well, the fact that you are here and here every week is incredible inspiration to each and every one of us who's a little bit younger than you. And we hope we're where you are when we're your age. So, and thank you for that reminder. Over 80 and at any age, I'm certainly getting there, where there's something showing up weird every time, every time I practice. And instead of pushing into it, how can we be patient? How can we be open? How can we attend to it lovingly? Right?
Accept it in a way.
Say again.
In a way to accept it, what
To accept it.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right. Thank you for that reminder. Yeah, you're amazing. Thank you. Anyone else? Any other thoughts? How, like, if you were working with the wall, how did it feel? Shelley,
Hi, welcome back.
thank you.
I missed you.
Mm.
And I wanted to say what I noticed in my body was that from the time I started doing this yoga with your practice, I feel like my body is really been improving. It really feels more open. I always had some difficulty in the intercostal muscles. They were always so tight and restricted. And I just feel way more open now. And I think the practice of loving kindness towards myself is really helping that. Because when I'm loving myself, I'm breathing more. I'm breathing easier. I'm not restricting my breath as much. I'm just taking more time to breathe. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. This is great. This is great news. I want to say too, what we did today, I think, is really profound. It's a lot. I know for myself, especially that twist at the wall, it's really like a lot of opening, and I think many of us get very tight in the right where the ribs end in the back. I know I do, and that's part of the diaphragmatic response. So having that twisting ability is really good. I will say, if you have the opportunity to do a little more of this on your own tomorrow, or you can grab the recording with YouTube or just whatever you remember, do a couple things. I highly recommend it, because that second day, your body kind of starts to remember and moves a little more freely. I know that I worked with this yesterday, and working with it again today was really, really a gift. So
I'll do
anytime
that.
you can have 2 days in a row of practice, I want to plant that seed with you that it's so powerful. Even if the second practice is 10 minutes,
Thank you.
So yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Stay well, everybody, and see you next week. May it go lightly.